Have you ever made a choice that you believed was final, one that left no room for regret? Nicholas Steele had always lived by reason, not emotion. To him, life was a series of calculated steps, each one leading closer to power and perfection. But that night, everything changed. Kate stood in front of him, her eyes filled with both hope and fear. "Nicholas," she whispered, "I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air like a storm about to break. For a moment, something stirred in his chest, a flicker of warmth, of life. But he buried it beneath years of discipline. "We can't do this," he said quietly, almost rehearsed. Kate's voice trembled. "You mean you won't?" He turned his back to her, staring at the city lights below. "I told you from the beginning, Kate. My life isn't built for a family." She moved closer, her hand resting protectively over her stomach. "This isn't just about you anymore." Her words struck him, but pride held his tongue. Love was weakness. Logic was strength. As she walked out the door, her tears left a silent trail behind her. Nicholas told himself he was doing the right thing, choosing his empire over emotion. But as the door closed, an emptiness echoed through the penthouse. He didn't realize it then, but that silence would follow him for the rest of his life. 6 years had passed, and Nicholas Steele had built a world where emotions no longer existed. Every day was measured in profits, meetings, and empty victories. His name was printed on magazines. His empire stretched across continents. And yet his nights were haunted by a silence no success could fill. He told himself that loneliness was the price of greatness, but deep down he knew it was punishment. One evening, as he stood in the glow of chandeliers at an elite charity gala, fate decided to remind him of everything he had lost. Across the crowded room he saw her, Kate. Time hadn't dimmed her beauty, it had refined it. Her eyes no longer carried the pain he remembered. They held strength, calm, and something else, peace. But what struck him most wasn't her confidence. It was the little girl beside her, dressed in a soft blue gown, her laughter gentle and bright. Nicholas froze as their eyes met. Those eyes, blue and familiar, reflections of his own. The world around him faded. The music, the laughter, the crowd, all disappeared. His breath caught as the truth hit him like a wave. That child was his. The empire he built suddenly felt worthless compared to the life he had once rejected. For the first time in years, Nicholas's heart began to feel again, and it terrified him. Nicholas stood frozen, unable to move as his past and present collided in a single heartbeat. Kate noticed him, and their eyes met across the room. Her expression didn't show anger or surprise, only calm indifference, as if he were just another stranger in the crowd. That quiet composure cut deeper than any words could. He wanted to go to her, to explain, to say something that could erase the years between them. But what could he possibly say to the woman he had once broken? Gathering his courage, he began to walk toward her, every step heavier than the last. The crowd seemed to fade until it was only her and the little girl in focus. "Kate," he said softly, his voice trembling for the first time in years. She turned, her face unreadable. "Nicholas." The way she said his name, steady, polite, distant, pierced him more than if she had screamed. He tried to smile. "You look—" "Well," she nodded slightly. "Life goes on." The little girl looked up curiously, her bright blue eyes wide. "Mommy, who is he?" Kate hesitated for a moment before answering gently. "Just someone I used to know." The words shattered him. For the first time, Nicholas realized how easily he had been replaced, not by another man, but by time, by strength, by healing. He walked away that night, his heart echoing with the truth he had buried for too long. Success meant nothing if you had no one to share it with. That night, Nicholas couldn't sleep. Every image from the gala replayed in his mind: Kate's calm voice, the child's innocent eyes, and the way she had said, "Just someone I used to know." Those words haunted him. He sat alone in his dark penthouse, the city lights flickering against the glass walls, realizing how empty it all felt. Every success, every luxury, every moment of pride now seemed meaningless. He had once believed control was strength, but now he saw that his control had cost him everything that truly mattered. The next morning, without a plan, he drove to the neighborhood he had heard Kate had moved to years ago. The roads were quiet, lined with trees, a world far away from his world of steel and glass. He saw her from a distance, walking her daughter to school. The little girl was laughing, her small hand holding Kate's. The sight was both beautiful and painful. He didn't dare approach them. Instead, he sat in his car, watching, realizing how much love he had thrown away. When Kate glanced back, their eyes met for a brief second, and this time, there was no anger, just understanding. It was as if she silently said, "You had your chance." Nicholas drove away slowly, but his heart stayed there, with the family that could have been his. For the first time, he felt true regret, not for his choices, but for the man he had been. Days turned into weeks, but Nicholas couldn't escape the image of Kate and the little girl. He tried to drown himself in work again, yet even the sound of applause during meetings felt hollow. Late one evening, as rain poured against his office windows, he opened a file Kate had once designed for his company years ago. Her handwriting filled the margins with small notes, hopeful words, warm reminders. A tear escaped before he could stop it. He finally admitted it. He missed her. He missed what they could have been. The next morning, he gathered all his courage and went to see her. When she opened the door, surprise flashed in her eyes, but she quickly masked it with calm composure. "Nicholas," she said softly, "why are you here?" He looked at her for a long moment before replying, "Because I can't keep pretending I'm fine." She didn't respond, just waited. "I was wrong," he said finally. "I thought success was everything, but it was nothing without you. Without her." Kate looked down for a moment, her lips trembling. "It took me years to stop hating you," she whispered. "And now, I don't even know what to feel." Nicholas's eyes filled with tears. "Just give me a chance to know her. That's all I ask." Kate hesitated, torn between anger and compassion. Then slowly she stepped aside, allowing him to enter. For Nicholas, that single gesture felt like the first drop of light after endless darkness. Nicholas stepped inside, unsure what to say or where to look. The house was small but warm, filled with the quiet hum of life he hadn't felt in years. The scent of fresh flowers lingered in the air, and children's drawings covered the walls. One of them showed a woman, a little girl, and a blank space beside them. His throat tightened. Then he heard soft footsteps. The little girl peeked around the corner, her curious eyes wide. "Mommy, who is he?" she asked again, her voice gentle. Kate smiled faintly. "Someone who wants to meet you." Nicholas knelt down, his hands shaking. "Hi," he said softly. "My name is Nicholas." She studied him for a moment before smiling shyly. "I like your tie." A small laugh escaped him, the first genuine one in years. That simple moment broke every wall he had built. As they sat together, she showed him her drawings, her favorite toy, and the story she had written about a brave man who lost his way but found home again. Nicholas's eyes filled with tears. He realized she was describing him without even knowing it. Kate watched quietly from the doorway, her expression softening. For the first time, Nicholas didn't think about business, power, or success, only about earning the chance to be a father and maybe one day deserving forgiveness. Sometimes redemption doesn't come with grand gestures. It begins in silence, with a single smile that says, "You still have time to change."